In this video, I'm going to show you how to put together both these cards. It's the same card and design, but two different ways of putting it together. So here's also a third way, which is similar to this one. So I'm going to show you two different ways to make this card. One's going to be little heart rainbow, like a little rainbow coming down the side here. And one is going to be similar to this one, where it has a happy, that's included with the file, love you day for happy Valentine's Day. And we're going to do a little inking, gradual, kind of like a gradient that way. So there's things that you can, you don't have to use in this file that are optional. As far as, and I'll explain some of that. I mean, you can take things out and do it a little bit different. Or I also included in the file a solid version of the front, so the without love you cut out. So that is in the file. And this panel as well, without the love you cut out. So that's in the extra stuff folder if you want to do that instead. So we're going to start with this type of version. So I'm going to move this to the side, and we're going to use these. So these are this is the happy day we'll put on at the very end. So I'm going to put that to the side. And the way it's going to go together, we have the card. And then if you get you can use the hearts, but I'll show you the hearts on the next card. There's also hearts cut out, so you can put different colors behind here. Or you could also cut a duplicate of this and just put a pattern paper behind it. Or you can do we also have a little piece that you can cut for that. That's what we're going to use with this piece on top. Then it'll say happy day. But first we want to go ahead and ink this section. So you can see how far I have to go in. I have to ink it through all these little hearts here. And I just want to make sure it's situated properly. So I have the textured side on the inside, and then the non-textured, what I'm going to ink. So for this, we're going to use Distress Oxide. I'm going to use these three colors. So I'm going to go dark on the top and light on the bottom. So I'm going to start with the Wilted Violet. So we're going to take this. I think this is not the darkest one. Yeah, it's just, see how the gradual, the colors? I'll just show you the colors real quick. That's what the colors we're going to be using. So I'm going to cover that and the other one. Seedless Preserve. So it's basically, the first one we're going to use is Wilted Violet. Yes, I've had all this in my stash. I just rarely show them on video. So I got a little ink on that, but that's okay because it's not going to show through. So I'm going to show you how to do this. So there's tons of videos on how to use Distress Oxide with these distress tools, but I'm just basically going to go through and go about a third of the way down and then overlap. So you can go ahead and I'll just continue to do that while you watch. Then I went ahead and checked to make sure I was getting the ink in the right places. And then ink a little bit more as needed. So as I was doing that, I was making sure that the color went all the way through. And it did, and I like the effect. So There it is. You see that gradual? So that's a good way to do this card. Just so you know, the different colors I used were Wilted Violet, Seedless Preserves, trying to get in the right light, and Worn Lipstick at the bottom. So that's what I use to shade that. So it's a pretty easy card to put together. That was probably the time-consuming part. What we can do is we're going to put this on the back of this. So that's going to go like that. I'll move that for a second. So we're going to glue that on first. So super simple card, but you could use it for so many things. Again, if you just use the solid version, you'll just have the hearts on the side. And you could do whatever you really want to with it. So I just put a little glue, and I'm just going to put a little glue dots in the middle there, and a little bit in the middle of these little sections, so it holds it down. So it just covers it like that. I believe it can go like that too, but I'm just going to go like this the long way. And I have the texture facing, well, down here, but up on the other side. Remember, we're not going to see this because we're going to put that other white piece that we just inked over it. So it says love you. Another thing about this card is that you could just say love you, or you could add an I or whatever you feel like doing. So let me get this situated correctly. So I got a little bit of ink on the other side, but not much. One thing, just make sure your mat's good and clean after you do something like that, or use a different surface. So I'm going to put a little glue around these hearts. Don't get it too close to the openings. And I am using our glitter glue. Now I would use just a regular adhesive. Oops, don't do that. I have to get a towel again here. I just use my towel to wipe up my mess here. I'm putting it on there. It'll match up. But the rest of it I'm going to put right here. You could put glue there, but I'm pretty confident that that's going to be enough to hold it. Make sure I get it oriented correctly. So we're just going to angle it on. Line it up carefully. I'm trying to get it as close as possible so I don't have any glue leak on the inside. One thing that's one of the reasons I like using glue over other adhesives when I'm doing stuff like this, to line it up. Because when I use like a tape adhesive, you really only have one chance. I mean, for me, you kind of have to line it up and it sticks. So isn't that a great look? I forgot, I haven't been using a lot of my inks lately, but after going to Creativation, which is like a craft industry show, I did some make and takes with some ink. So I thought, well, I have a lot of it. I might as well start adding them to my projects. So that'll just line up like that. So we're just going to stick that down and then add these two things. So at light, I'm going to show you how to put on this remaining part using a lot of questions I see often in craft groups are, what do they use for these tiny pieces? Some people use things like a Xyron, one of these machines. You can. I get frustrated with it sometimes, but that's an option. Mine has a little dust on it. Or you could use something like this. I could use a fine tip applicator like this. Or one of the things I like is the Zig glue pen. And the reason I like this is because when it comes out, it doesn't come out really heavy, and I can get really detailed. I usually just kind of dot. It comes out and you can see it's blue. Now you can barely see it, but I'm just going around. And the nice thing about this is when it dries, it's still a little sticky, because when it's wet, it's considered permanent when you put it on something, and then when it's dry, it's kind of like a removable adhesive. So again, you can use this card without putting these happy and day, but happy love day instead of happy Valentine's Day. And this is the cutest pattern paper that I found, that I got from a good friend of mine in her stash when she passed away. I mean, so I get to think of her all the time. I'm sure it's not the last video I'll mention her, but I have a lot of my craft stash from her. Ironically, I got her into it years ago, or we were scrapbooking, and it just got bigger, and she got really big into stamps. So she had a lot of paper. So unfortunately, we had to clean out her craft room after she passed away. But anyways, she'll be forever in my videos now. See? So this is just, every once in a while I need to do a simple card. I know I did a little bit more on this, but I like cards that you can use over and over again. I didn't do the straightest job, but I'm not very good at that. So you can see that there's not much difference. So that's the technique I use for that. This is one of my favorite color schemes. I'm not really a pink person. I'm more of a purple. But the thing I want to mention too here is that, remember, you can still use these cutout little hearts. So I took 3 of those cutout hearts and I inked them and then added some glossy accents to it. So let me show you a different way of putting together this card. And that's coming next. So here's the second version of the card, and all these hearts are included with the file. The difference is I'm not going to put Happy Day, and I'm going to add this blue on the background. You could do some inking back on the background and make your own background color. And we're going to go ahead and add these hearts on the back of all those cutout hearts. So we're going to go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So we'll go ahead and I'll show you how. Just going to glue it on the back. So this I'm going to put aside so it doesn't get anything on it. I'm going to go from top to bottom. Just going to add a little bit of glue around the heart. And these are a little bit smaller than, so don't go to the edge. We don't want it to go to the edge because I don't want to see it. It might come through, but we don't want it to be showing. And then we'll go ahead and add the other colors. And then I'll be back shortly for the next step. So I was careful to make sure that I covered every section and that it didn't get glued too close to the edge so it didn't show through here. But now you can see a little rainbow heart thing here. And the only thing is too is make sure you put the texture side down when you're gluing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and texture side down, glue this on. You've already seen this, so let me get that added. And then we'll add this on the inside to hide all that. This time I don't have to add glue carefully. This time I could just add glue around the edges and onto this actual piece of paper because there's no opening anymore. Line it up. And I'm not going to press down yet until I know it's lined up. But I made it so this is slightly shorter on the inside so it doesn't affect the folding. Then I decided I'm going to add some little enamel dots, just a little line on the bottom, just to enhance it. So here's the finished card. I just added, I could have gone to the left a little bit, but I just added a little bit of dimension there. I didn't add the happy day to the front, but I'm happy with it. I just added these little sprinkles. The Doodlebug design sprinkles, enamel dots. So that's that card ready to go. It's just a fun card. I can imagine how I'm going to be using this card, and actually want to make a couple other border cards just like that. It's just a fun, easy card. It would be a nice birthday gift. So we have these 3 cards. We have this version. We have the one where we use little inking. And same concept here as well. So you can see you can get a lot of looks, and also you can use the optional solid versions with only the cutouts, heart cutouts that are in the file. So if you did like this video, please give me a little thumbs up down below there. I'm trying to, anyways, I can't get it down there. And or subscribe. And I thank you so much for watching.